Hello, everyone. This is Mr. Honeyegg going through narrating a PowerPoint on forming positive relationships with our first set of notes for human development. So let's go ahead, get started. What you're going to do is the um, you're going to copy the note template, paste it in a text box, fill it all out, and then submit it back to me. This is your journal. In your opinion, what are the most important factors in forming a positive relationship? Obviously, a very great thing. It's just one of those things like the journal is related to this, but if you go into the journal check question, just answer that question, and then you'll get your 100 for answering it as your bell work. Within this unit, what we got, we're going to be talking about forming positive relationships, expectations of different relationships, standards that guide relationships, as well as safe and unsafe relationships, red flags. Now, some of this we won't cover like right away, but as we move into studying how teenagers think and things of that nature, we're going to be really highlighting this stuff. So we have 4 types of relationships. All right, very easy, very simple. The first one is your family relationships. These are ones that you typically can't help because these are your family members. Typically, you're born into it, or by blood or marriage. So typically, these are your mom, your dad, sister, brother, aunt, uncle, your grandparents, your cousins. All of this is family relationships. Typically the people you live with, but you are typically related by blood or marriage, and oftentimes you don't get to pick these people. Okay. In some rare cases you do, but you don't typically get to pick these people. So next you have the casual relationship. And the best way I can think about this is these are people you kind of know. All right. So for example, other classmates, co-workers, things of that nature. You have plenty of casual relationships here at Northwestern in this class. So for example, if you look around the classroom and you see someone and you're like, oh, I know him or her, but I don't know him or her. Or I've heard of them before, but I don't really know them. Or they're in my class, but I don't talk to them. Like you may interact with them from a standpoint of maybe working on a group project, or you may get placed on, a meeting with them, like in the workforce, or they may be placed on the register next to you and you're working at like the Walmart or the Zaxby's or Bojangles or wherever y'all working. But you don't know them, like you don't have a friendship or anything invested. You just kind of know a little bit about them. Maybe you make a little small talk. Those are your casual relationships. So many of y'all have a lot of casual relationships. Next, we have friendships. Now, typically, friendships can typically be born out of casual relationships. And these are people that you have a strong bond with. And typically they fall into 2 categories. One, they're not your family. Okay. They're not your cousin. You're not your mom, your dad. I know some of y'all would be like, oh, my mom's my best friend, that kind of stuff. No, your mom is your mom. That is your family relationship. So typically, friendships are not family. And then 2, they are not more than friends. Okay. So we're not getting into the standpoints of being, your boyfriend, your girlfriend, that sort of stuff. So that is where your friendships are. So they're typically not more than friends, but they're not family. And typically, what defines a friendship is you have trust in details about your personal life that are the key factors. In other words, we're going beyond casual. You know this person, you know what's going on in their personal life a little bit. Maybe y'all text on the regular and y'all talk a lot about what's going on. If something happens like in their life, you typically know about it and you're there for support, and you understand about what's going on with them. And that typically is the defining of a friendship. You're going to open up and you're going to talk about the details of what goes on in your life. All right. And then finally, we have romantic relationships. And this is typically an extension of a deep friendship. So a lot of times people talk about like, oh, when they get into romantic relationships, they're like, this person is my best friend, or I married my best friend, or stuff like that. Think about it from the standpoint of you know a person more, and you are, being more and more trusting with not just like details of your personal life, but reliance on them as a person and that they are your person. And then a lot of times, once again, it is often associated with a stronger commitment. So you have a stronger commitment to this person, not just to, understand and be there for them, in times of crisis and stuff, but you're going to be there for them more regularly than a friend would. And once again, another major aspect is there's a deeper intimacy, both emotionally and physically. So, for example, you may start engaging in more things related to physical touch, things of that nature, holding hands, that sort of stuff. And then once again, being there more of an emotional support. So that is typically where romantic relationships romantic relationships lie. All right. So once again, it's more of an extension of a deep friendship. Typically, it's born out of a friendship, oftentimes, where some people can become more than just friends. But once again, it's just one of those things where it's that extension, and there are things that happen within this romantic relationship that wouldn't typically happen in a traditional friendship. So for the rest of the class, what we got going on is if you go through, you will see an assignment called Read and Note the ABCs of Relationships. And what this is just a little article, and it's going through, it's going to be set up just like your notes. So all you're going to do is it has little areas that you fill out. Okay? It has little areas that you're going to fill out. So you're going to read the article and then you're going to fill in the missing spots. Okay? That's all you got going on for the rest of the day. And then tomorrow, we'll be jumping back in and discussing more about relationships and things of that nature. If you get finished early and you have any extra time, please make up any missing work that you have. But outside of that, you guys are good for the rest of class.